we're going to take a look at the info form or the parts information form. So putting a checkbox in the info is going to give us a list of all of the parts that are on the current selected sheet. So we are currently viewing sheet number 1. All of the parts listed here in the parts list are on sheet number 1. Selecting to view a different sheet, we will see that all of the parts for sheet number 2 are now visible. Selecting any one part in this list will automatically select all of the shapes that are associated with that particular cabinet or that particular part. So as you select, you can see that each item in each part becomes selected. We then have farther down the information about the part itself. We could see that the part name, the size, thickness, what unit number, the sheet number that this belongs to, and the XY start position. The XY start position is the lower left. We could select any one part in the drawing, and you will see that that part automatically gets selected in our parts list. So selecting the part, selecting for that wall shelf, I could choose to select to up that sheet to number 2, clicking Save. We'll then move that part from sheet number 1 and move it over to sheet number 2. We are also able to save a custom part to our parts library. So I'm going to select on this part and I am going to move it off to the side. I'm going to make some modifications to this. We don't need the holes here, and it might be that this particular part or custom part that we might need to redo often requires a hole in the bottom with a rectangle. With that part off to the side, I'm going to rename that part. I'm going to call it just Test New and click Save. So that renamed the part in our parts list. If I right click, I could choose to save that part. That part is now added, or that part name is now added to the parts library, and we see that it is listed right here with the Test New. So we could then delete that part. We are also able to undo. Selecting that part, we could also right click in the parts list and select delete. That part is now a permanent item inside of the parts library. So anytime for any job, we could select the part listed in the library and it will add it to our sheet. You could then just click the nested sheets to re-nest and it will incorporate it back into the nesting view. Over top of the right, we've chosen and seen how to save parts and how to delete parts. The explode part comes into play when you may have drawn in your items from an existing CAD program. So we're going to import a DXF. And I'm going to bring in a job that has been nested separately from PartNester. This DXF has been brought in as one part. So when we select the item in the parts list, we see all of the items become selected. I'm going to go ahead and move that part off to the side. And I say that part, even though it is a grouping, as far as PartNester understands it, it is one single part. But we can clearly see that there are multiple parts, and that is what the explode button is going to do. Once I select that part, right click, select explode, it will then go through the parts and explode it out into separate individual parts. You could always come back and re-nest now that they are individual parts and they act as individual parts. So that is the information about the parts themselves and how to Select parts, delete parts, and use the Parts Info tab.